Hey, welcome. It's me, Dave. I posted a couple of videos today and it got me thinking, got me wanting to take stock, so to speak. It's been 3 weeks now, 3 weeks, and admittedly, not a lot of time, but I just started on this journey. So, what are some of the things that I've learned, or at least have come to mind in from comments that I've gotten, things that I've noticed about my content, kind of like what's hit, what's not hit, things that I can learn from because I'm a learning kind of guy. First thing, a number of people, or a few people, have commented that I wear hats, I don't show my hair, I wear t-shirts, I sit on the back stoop in front of the door. One person referred to it as in front of my double wide. It's actually not mine. It's my ex-wife's place. So I think she'd be kind of like pissed at that, aspersion. So careful when you cast stones, my friend. And I know a number of people are looking at my background going, what the fuck, Doc Dave? What is this? Here's the thing. There it is. Just in case you doubted it, I'll try to get the glow out of the way. That is my diploma from Kent State University. Got my name, Doctor of Philosophy. I'm a psychologist. Hung in an office for 25 years at various places. Those offices at academic institutions and research institutions, like the one at George Mason and a variety of other places, both public and private, they were publicly facing places. They weren't places that were designed for my comfort. My office was not designed for my comfort. It was not designed as a place for me. It was designed as a place to ease the comfort and allay whatever fears there might be of the clients that were coming to see me. This is not that space. This is my space. These are things that make me happy, like the alien crawling down to bite my ass, and I'm very happy with that. This makes me happy, brings a smile to my face. I'm 59 years old, just about retired. You know what? I've earned it. So, what are the kind of things that I've learned from what I've done? So, first thing to note is that this is not a money-making operation. I'm not interested in, making this into a job or a living. I've had jobs. I'm not particularly good at jobs. I don't particularly like jobs, even when I'm self-employed. I make enough to make ends meet, make enough to pay the bills, take care of my responsibilities. But other than that, it's not something that I'm, enamored with as a concept. That being said, if this were to, if the gods allowed, blow up, and I could fund places to take care of physically and emotionally and sexually abused kids in India and England and Canada, and here the 4 places that are closest and dearest to my heart. Oh, let's throw in 5 just to make it kind of like, I like 5s, 10s, 15, 20s. I like that. Let's throw in Germany. That would be great. But something tells me I'm not going to get into Mr. Beast territory. So, that being said, I've noticed a couple things. So, in terms of content, you've noticed that things have kind of like, some would say, been a little scatological. I'd say they fall into 3 kind of buckets. They fall into my field, so psychology and teaching related content. Bucket 2 is movie/pop culture content. And bucket 3 is just stuff that has just triggered something in me. I would like to say either, makes me go, or pisses me off. And lately, that has been in the Trump voting arena. So, content-wise, yes, a lot of different content, just throwing stuff up, seeing what hits, seeing what people like, seeing what people don't like. That's one thing. Still, doesn't seem to be any clear preference. Now, there is a preference just in terms of length. So I've been playing around, as suggested by the old, getting to learn how to do this stuff videos that YouTube provides and other people have. Did my due diligence as best I could. And what they suggest is have a variety of different timed content in order to, attract to different buckets of audience. And so I have my reels. So I think that's what you kids call it. That's kind of like 30 seconds and less. And that content seems to have blown up, at least by my channel's numbers. That seems to have hit the most. People seem to have been drawn to that the most. And I want to come back and talk to that in a minute, because part of that is that, I kind of poked the bear, because I got to do something to attract you to stop on my 30-second vid and not just swipe past. So I use somewhat provocative language. Here we go. Got to do something. Got to give a brother a break every once in a while. So, and then I have kind of like what I call short to mid-form videos, anywhere from 6 minutes, and those 6-minute ones tend to be kind of like just quick getting out, almost regurgitation of thoughts, because if they rattle around my brain, they'll make it explode. And those are largely filmed on my phone, and it's those ones that are filmed on my phone that are on the back porch that people seem to take offense at it being on the back porch. Are you also having trouble with where Tennessee Brando films his? I love your stuff, Tennessee Brando, and if you can give me some hints as to how to get my stuff in front of people who are kind of like more in line with my political philosophy than the ones who apparently are getting my stuff, I would be grateful to hear. Also, so I've got the reels, I've got the short form, kind of like the 6-minute videos. They tend to be on my form, from my phone. Then I've got the kind of like what I call a mid-range video. Those are like 20-minute videos. And those 20-minute videos are almost like previews of my longer form content. And my longer form content was actually the stuff that I thought would hit more than it already has. So I have longer form content in the form of movie stuff. I have what I thought was a pretty cool video on Terrifier. But it either is not, it hasn't hit. So either I was wrong, which is perfectly possible, or for whatever reason, the algorithm is not putting it in front of people who are interested in hearing what a social psychologist has to say about why people are engaging in Terrifier. But I thought that was a kind of interesting video. So I have that. There also seems to be some mid-level interest in my psychology-related content, particularly the stuff that criticizes Abraham Maslow's hierarchy of needs, or as I have come to call it, the hierarchy of Squid Game. And again, I use language when I title things that sets it apart, because I have to get you to stop. I have to get you to stop scrolling. I have to get you to stop swiping long enough to at least entertain the possibility of clicking on my video. So that's why I tend to use some of the language that I use. So, certainly in terms of engagement, not necessarily in terms of views, because there are other short form videos and reels I have that have a larger amount of views. But the one reel that generated the most reaction in terms of engagement, comments, was the one titled Jesus Hates Trump. Now, do I believe Jesus hates Trump? No, I don't believe Jesus hates Trump. But I had to call it something to get you to stop and click on the 30-second video and say, what's this fucker talking about? Because if I had titled it, Jesus wouldn't have liked Trump, or Jesus was meh on Trump, you probably would have just swiped by. So, it was titled Jesus Hates Trump. And for all of you who did comment on that video, thank you. And that might sound strange because the overwhelming majority of the comments were not pleasant. Do I believe Jesus loves everybody? How do I know what Jesus thinks? I don't know what Jesus thinks, and neither do you. And it's funny to me that when you tell me, how could I know that Jesus would hate Trump, that I don't know what Jesus thinks, that you then go on to say that Jesus would love Trump. Because you're saying exactly the same thing that I'm saying. I'm just saying I don't think Jesus would like him. You're saying you think Jesus would. Reasonable people can disagree. In my reading of the Bible, in my reading of the New Testament, through my education in Catholic school, from when I was 5 years old to when I went to college, in all those Bible study classes, in 3 different countries, by the way, with 3 different sets of priests. Yeah, you know what? The Jesus that I was taught about would have had a lot of problems with Trump. Might not have hated him, but would have had a lot of trouble with Trump as a person, as a human. That's all I was saying. Now, what the thing that also was interesting about the comments that came out of that was the idea that Jesus loves everyone. Jesus loves everyone. Jesus loves Trump. Jesus loves everybody. And I really hope that people believe that as a philosophy. Because if they do believe it as a philosophy, that's a pretty great philosophy to live your life by. Because it means Jesus loves everybody. And everybody means everybody. Everybody means that trans kid who's in the same class as your kid at school. It means the lesbian couple who are raising kids down the street from you. You see where I'm going with this? Everybody means everybody. You didn't put a caveat on it. I'm not putting a caveat on it. And you're the one that told me Jesus ain't putting no caveat on it. So if Jesus loves everybody, then Jesus loves everybody. And if you're living your life by the tenets of Jesus, then that means you support trans rights, you support LGBTQ rights, you support gender-affirming care, you support all of those things that, at least in the community that I happen to be in, which is a pretty conservative community, rural in nature, those are the things that Christians in my community are coming out against. And that's the only thing I'm saying. If Jesus loves everybody, he loves everybody. Jesus never said, I love everybody, but I don't love you, and you. So, as the priests taught me when I was in Catholic school, you either walk the walk. I mean, not to put too fine a point on it. You either shit or get off the pot. You either walk the walk or you don't walk the walk. That was another comment. I swear too much. Honestly, if Jesus or whoever or the gods are worried about the colorful metaphors I use in my language, I respectfully submit that they're focusing on the wrong thing. That there are other more important things to use than how much profanity I use on a daily basis. I'm just saying. But anyway, so what can I take from the first 3 weeks? Not much, because my content really hasn't hit. Maybe it won't hit, but ultimately, that's not the point. That's not the point at all of this. The point is that I'm getting older. My dad died a year and a half ago. His grandkids never knew the vibrant 30, 35-year-old, 40-year-old, 50-year-old, 60-year-old man that he was. Never knew him. Had no way of knowing him except through the memories of me and my sister and my mother. It became painfully apparent that my own kids know me as I am now. They don't know me like I was in my 30s when I started having kids, or in my 40s, or in my 50s. They were alive then, but they don't remember. And this is as much for them as it is for me. My mind, if you haven't figured out for yourself, moves at several hundred million thousand miles an hour. And if I don't find ways to get stuff out, off of my mind information superhighway, it rolls around in there, it festers, and bad things tend to happen. So this is as much an opportunity for me to get stuff out into another form. And also, it's an opportunity to have in one place, after I'm gone, should they choose to, a repository. And it's not all of me. It may not even be a relatively big percentage of me, but it's me. And they may look at me and they may go, yeah, he's as much of a piece of shit as I thought he was. Or, wow, I didn't know that about him. Or, I did not know he had that many Yoda and Grogu figures lying around. Point is, I remember them in a way that they will never remember me. And I think that's kind of sad. So, in many ways, this is not for you. This is not to make money. This is not to improve the nature of the universe. This is not to improve your social standing. This is not to make society better. No, it's much more selfish than that. This is just giving me an opportunity to get stuff off my chest and hopefully creating a place where people can come get to know me a little better. That's just it. So that is so far what I've garnered after 3 weeks of doing this. I'll still keep putting up a variety of different content. It'll still be in the 3 different buckets. It'll be in the general kind of teaching bucket. I get back to doing the Maslow. It'll be in the commentary space, which will include getting back to movies, television. I've got something worked up on Star Wars theory that I need to get back to. Maybe I'll take a break from the shorter term video ideas and focus more on the 20-minute and longer content. Point is, I'm here. I'm going to keep doing this until it doesn't provide the release that it is right now, at least. And I hope you come along for the ride. Ciao, me lovelies.